Good evening, folks. Well, we are here at CCAA Shopping Nova Iguaçu with one more talk show. In fact, it's our sixth talk show. And you know, our intention here is to make communication possible in English, right? You know, communication, language service communication, and that's why we meet once a month to bring you different people speaking English and bringing to you their experience and opening horizons to you. Today we have a very special person, as you are probably accustomed. This person is a multi-everything, another Mr. Hyphen, right? Just talking about this person experience at CCAA, we have student, secretary, coordinator, director, consultant. Wow, I can't list everything. Other than that, this person is a great speaker, and you will probably enjoy and learn a lot this afternoon. Be with us. And you guys here, don't waste your time, right? Get this opportunity. Take every minute and ask questions, learn from him, because you will probably get tips that will be important for all your life. So help me welcome our special guest, who, by the way, is my friend. This could be, this was not necessary to mention, but I have to. My great friend, Reinaldo Pereira. Good evening, Reinaldo.
Good evening, everybody.
How are you?
I want to thank you all for inviting me to be part of the show, and also to let me be part of this company again.
Well, I guess you have never been away from this company.
I know, but it's always good to be back.
Sure. When you look at Reinaldo, you read CCAA, don't you? When you see Reinaldo, guys, don't you read CCAA?
Right.
Sure. Wow, Reinaldo is a guy that calls my attention especially for having lots of energy. And you know, guys, that when you have a lot of energy, you should find a way to do something with it. Because if you don't do something with the energy you have, the energy will do something with you. But Ray, in a very singular way, has been using his energy to go through many fields and have success. He's very successful in all of these fields. Ray, you are a bundle of energy. Your energy seems not to end ever. Where does it come from? What can you say about all this energy?
Oh my God, I would say that energy is life, right? So when it comes to energy, to me, it is all about Reinaldo. Like, I like to do different activities every day. I like to learn different things every day. And I consider myself a non-stop person. So I don't like to be like stuck in a place. And that's why I consider myself an energy person, because I love to do different things, to learn different things, and that's all about me.
Sure. When you were not stuck, you open many doors.
Right. So this is good too.
You get to know many
right?
things.
Yeah, this is good too, because it helps us.
Sure.
Do different things and learn and keep like improving ourselves.
Sure. Ray, you've been doing so many things in some different fields, different areas, and all of them in a very successful way. We have here students today, and you'll probably be a model for them, because they could know they are a student today, maybe tomorrow they could be a consultant, work out of Brazil, be a traveler, and so on. So could you list in a brief way, your professional life for us. I mean, what have you been doing in your timeline?
All right. I don't know if it's going to be possible to do a briefly explanation about my life, right? A briefly introduction about my life. But that's fine. That's okay. So I could say that I started working at CCAA when I was 15. In fact, 16, because 15 was not possible to work, as you know. So I worked from 2001 until 2015. And I, as you know, as Consuelo has mentioned, so I had like different, I had different heads, right, in the place. So I was the secretary for a while. I worked as a marketing agent for a while too. When I was 18, I had the opportunity to be a coordinator. And at that moment, I was also having the chance to be in class. So I finished my teacher's course, and I had the chance to be in class. When I was, after 7 years being a director of the school, I had the chance to be the supervisor as a consultant. So I was just like supervising all directors from 7 branches. And that's all about me at CCAA. So like I promoted different activities to bring more students, to have more students in the school. And that was part of my timeline at CCAA.
He was my boss. That's when we met, wasn't it?
Right,
and out of CCAA.
So 2015, I decided to move to the States after going for fun and to travel around the world. So I decided to move and to live in the States. So I went to Boston, and after 2 months, I found a job there, and one of the best opportunities in my life. So I started working 2 months after getting in Boston, and that's the company I still work for. And I work at an American company as a program coordinator, and it looks like I do part of the same, I followed the same path. Like, it looks like I'm in the same career, and even if I'm not in Brazil, I'm doing the same activity in the States. So that's good too, right?
Yeah, they run together. Right. Yes, they are not different at all.
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're here or there, you could continue working. Since you mentioned Boston, your Boston experience, could you tell us the pros and the cons?
Sure. I mean, as I told you before, I've been to the States many times.
Yeah, you've traveled a lot. He's traveled a lot.
So sometimes I went to have fun. Sometimes I went with the students to have a trip to Disney World. And this time, I decided to move and to work. And as you know, this is not an easy task because you need to have a visa. So I went with my tourist visa and found a sponsor. So this is good too, to know. And this is one of the pros of being in Boston. Because being a good professional, you can find somebody who can sponsor your visa, and it means that you're going to be legal in the country. And of course, that there are some cons that if you don't have a visa, you have to leave the country in 6 months, according to what they tell you when you get in the country, when you arrive there. And of course, that we have like problems with culture. We have problems with the language for some people, not for us, because we speak English and we study at CCAA, right?
Sure.
So this is not a big problem for us. And we also have some problems with food. People don't like their food, but I love it, so it's not a problem for me at all. And I would say that there are some pros, like being in another country, for me, is an opportunity to be yourself. Not only like act as you do in Brazil, this is not a problem, but just to be without any protection. you know? So this is something important. When you are in a country that you don't know anybody, you don't have your family by your side, so you need to provide your food, you need to make your own money, so this is totally different. And that's when you find yourself, and that's when you improve yourself and you learn, right? Because you do not have any choice. Like, you do need to go there and make it work. And that's the most important part of being in the States for me.
It's like jumping the alligator river, right?
Right,
You
yeah.
have no other way. You
No
gotta,
help at all,
You gotta
so
make
this is- right.
your path. Sure. They say you make your path as you walk, so that's what you
Right,
did.
right.
But Ray, in this way to the top, does it remind you of anything? In this way to the top, you probably had other difficulties not only in Boston.
Right.
Life is full of ups and downs, right? Have you ever thought of giving up?
Oh, I would say that this word is not in my dictionary. Like, never. When I get frustrated or when I start thinking about giving up, I say, Ray, just wake up and just believe what you're here for. So this is not in my dictionary at all. So when I have some problems, as you said, so we always have like ups and downs.
Sure.
I feel like this is not time to give up. So just believe that everything's going to be fine. And if nothing happened at this moment, it will be in the future. Because as we know, I'm not going to be religious, but our time is not God's time. So we just need to keep praying and keep believing.
Is that what inspires you to go on when you face some difficulty?
Always. So when I say if nothing has arrived, it means that this is not the right time to arrive. So
So you keep on
Right.
believing and doing your part.
Right.
But
This
would
is
you
it.
say you take this information, knowledge, experience, I don't know how to name it, but this thing that comes inside when you, I want to give up, I will go ahead. Would you say you took it after a person in your family?
I'm glad he's here, but I took after my father. So my father is here, and I'm glad to tell everybody how he has taught me not to give up at all. So this is a great opportunity for him to listen to me saying good things about him.
And does he speak English?
No,
Ah.
but he will.
He
will, for
but,
sure.
No, I just lament because he couldn't understand this.
I'll tell him afterwards.
Okay. And by the way, invite him to study at CCAA.
Sure.
Okay? We can welcome any person anytime.
Perfect.
Right?
Deal.
Well, done, yeah. Hey, which of the many activities you have performed, you have been doing, worked with, you would say you like the most?
This is hard because I love everything I do. And when I don't like it, I just say no, right? This is good too, to let you know about me. Saying no is also good for us, right? Sometimes it's also good for us. So I would say that learning is the most the activity I
You
like
like
the
the
most.
Learning.
Yes, but I can consider like communication or communicate with other people, and like exchanging energy is also something that I like a lot.
And
Like-
you do that very nicely.
Yeah, like knowing about the other person and talking to people and being like interested in what the person is saying, and this is something that I really like to do.
Right. And where did you get this talent? Better saying, how would you define talent, Ray?
This is a good question, by the way, right? I would define talent with a combination with some activities. I mean, some skills.
Right.
I would say that talent comes with determination. I would say that talent comes with attitude. So if you do not have determination if you not if you don't have determination, if you don't have attitude, your talent won't help you.
Yeah, it serves for nothing.
Right,
gonna
right.
be-
So I would define talent with determination and attitude, and I would say that this is a combo. This is a match. You have to have everything in order to be a successful person.
Yeah, it's doing things,
Right,
not
yeah.
only wishing for things.
Or not only planning, right? Because
Exactly.
people like to plan a lot and they do not leave. Like they keep planning, 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 and when they need to be in action, they don't do it. So this is bad too.
Yeah, they say what we say can teach, but what we do drags people.
Right, yeah.
So
I totally
that's
agree with you.
Yeah, it's cool. Ray, you are a very sophisticated person. At least that's my opinion of you. Were you raised this way?
This is a difficult question, right? Because I don't feel sophisticated at all, but I would compare sophistication with being in harmony with the environment. So I would say that I'm an easygoing person.
You are?
So I would say that this is also about sophistication, like knowing where you are, how you need to behave, and being ready to come and leave whatever you are. Like if you're here, you know how to behave here. So if you're in a party, you're gonna know how to behave in a party. So I do agree that sophistication is all about knowing where you are, who you are, and what you want to do. So
It's matching the context
right,
then.
right.
When you match the context, and I think you do this in a nice way because it's not only the context, but it's when you go inside the people and you somehow do something that would represent them. That's why I say. And were you raised this way?
I would say no, because this is something that you learn day by day, right?
You build it
So, yes,
over life.
Yes. So, and it doesn't matter if we are talking about professional life or personal life. I would say that this happens when you face the situation. So when you face the situation, it means that you're gonna learn. And this is something that comes with the experience, that comes with different situations that you face. And so I would say no. I didn't raise this way, but I've been learning as we are all learning, right? Because
Day by
we
day.
never stop. So we need to keep learning day by day, every day, different things, as we do in English, right? Because English is the same stuff. So you never know everything. So every day you learn different things and you feel more comfortable with the language.
Ray, are you close to the family person, or are you the one that's completely free from family? Because you've traveled a lot and you keep on traveling. When he said many times, guys, in the States only, could you tell us what is many in the United States? How many?
30 times. So
30 times only in the States. So are you close to the family person?
yes, I am. Even traveling a lot, like to Europe too, like to South America too. Some countries in South America and some countries in Europe, and like a bunch of times to the States. And it's easy to see how I love the States. So not a problem at all, because you don't go to a place like 20 times if you don't like it. So I can say that I'm really close to my family.
And how difficult has it been in all this coming and going, living abroad? I guess you had some experience in France too.
I did, and it's for my family is not a problem at all, because they support me on my decisions. So that's really fine. That's really okay. And they also celebrate with me, and this is something good for you. Because when you do something based on what you want and with the agreements of your parents, things get easier and
Sure.
they're gonna be your partner. They say, okay, so go, and we're gonna be here and celebrate what you get. So this is good. And talking about my experience in France, so I had 2 internships when I was 18 and 19. I didn't leave CCAA, just for the information. So I was on vacation at CCAA, and I got a job for 1 month in France. And it was a great experience as well. So I had a great chance to learn the language too. And I was just a teenager. I would say that starting my adult life. And it was a
there.
great experience to be in another country, working, making some money. This is also important. And I would say that these 2 experiences were really, really important for me.
Do you speak French or?
I do.
Right.
I do. When
But-
I
but-
came back, when I came back from France, I started my course, and my French course, and it took me a while, right? Because French is also difficult. I would say that French is more difficult than English. But I took 6 years. It was a 6-year course.
Right.
It took
But
me
when
a
you
while.
were there, you didn't speak French.
It is difficult to learn a language when you don't know anything. Like some people think that, oh, I'm going to move to the States and I'm going to learn English there. And that's almost impossible in my opinion, because you need to have like the most important part of learning a language. Like you need to have structure, you need to have at least some vocabulary, you know. So when I was there, I went to work in France, not because I was speaking, not because I spoke French. I went there because I at that time I could speak Spanish, Portuguese, and English. And that's it. So when
And
I came back,
great.
I started to master the words I learned and the new learning
The
process.
new language coming
Right.
In between the other
Right,
languages.
perfect.
And speaking English in France is something, right?
Right, yeah.
If you go there, you're gonna have this
Yes,
experience.
experience, right.
Ray, what's your look over life and death?
Oh my! So I would say that life is today, right? I would say
Life is
today.
Right.
Yeah. So I do believe that life is today. Like the energy you have, the energy you exchange, the person you meet. Like this is life. Like when you start planning and you start paying attention to what you have, like to the plants, like to the microphone and everything you have to be alive, right? And this is life for me. So you have to
Presence.
Yes.
Life is presence.
Right. So I would say that life is presence, and life is being alive during the day and believe that you're here. Like, do not, like, it is hard to say that even for me because I'm very anxious, but I would say that stop dreaming, stop thinking in the future. Just think of what you have right now. Sometimes you are like sitting on a table and you're not talking to people, so just do it. So forget the phones and keep like looking into people's face, and you're gonna see how they feel, how you feel, and like exchanging these ideas.
Relationship,
So, right,
yeah.
this is life for me. And death is just another chapter. Like that's what I believe. So if you didn't have the chance to leave what you want to do here right now, I would say that the next chapter is about to begin.
All
Right?
right.
So
and it
just thinking about the next chapter. And if you think about it, so just try to make the best of the day. So make the best of the presence and today, right?
Okay. Before we open for questions, because we do like to interact with the audience, our students always bring better questions than I can ever write and ask. I would like you to leave us a message. I know we are not ending because we will just begin our best part, which is interaction, but Could you leave us a message?
I would say that my message is a sentence, not written by me, but the sentence that describes me is the word impossible is not in my dictionary at all. So that's my sentence for everybody. So I don't think that the word impossible represents me. So that's not my last sentence, because we're gonna have some questions and I can't wait to have them. But this is my sentence for everybody, and the best sentence to describe me too.
Yeah, I totally agree. There isn't anything this guy wouldn't do. I have told you, the sky is not the limit. Some people say the sky is the limit, but Ray, the sky is not the limit. And you know, many important people have said something similar. I guess Walt Disney has said, if you can dream, you can realize it. Is it? Bernard Shaw, if there is a will, there is a way. And there are some people who say, impossible is a matter of opinion, but that's not your opinion, right, Ray?
Not my opinion at all.
Cool. So, guys, let's start our best part of the talk show, which is this interaction. The microphone is yours, and please get him, turn him upside down, ask all questions possible, okay?
That's what I'm here for.
Hey, and how many languages do you speak?
I speak 4 languages, if I can count my native language, Portuguese.
Yeah.
So I speak Portuguese, French, English, and Spanish.
Besides the fluent level speaking language, do you speak like any bit of a language that you are not fluent at all? You know the basic of any other language?
I would say Italian, but really, really beginner.
Yeah,
So, and that's enough, you know? That's enough for the moment.
That's amazing.
Hey, evening. If you could describe your career in one word, what would it be?
I would say determination.
Good. And what was the hardest thing you had to do in all your way until now?
You mean in Brazil or in the States?
Yeah, can be in the States, and I mean both, if you can say both. The hardest thing you had to do.
When I was 18, I had the chance to start managing one of CCAA's branch. And one of the hardest time in my life about managing was when I had to manage people, even being 18 years old, and some employees at that time were already in the company for 25, 28 years. So they were older than me in age comparing to my professional timeline and experience too. So that was something really, really hard for me. And that's good to know that even being hard to me at that moment, it was the time that I improved more, you know, because I really learned how to deal with that situation. Yeah, and it was really challenging for me too.
If you can have a chance of be the principal of one CCAA, how do you will receive this?
In fact, I was, right? So I was for a while. You mean the principal as a director, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was for a while the director of one of the branches, and I would say how I reacted when I was there, when I was 18. Of course, that some parts brought me like a surprise moment, saying, "Oh my God, I'm not sure if I am ready," right? But as I told you before, the word impossible is not in my dictionary, so I said, okay, so I am ready, even if I'm not. If I'm not, I'll be.
Hi. There is anything that you have done in your life that it was when you was a child you never imagined that you would have done this?
Could you repeat the question again?
Of course. There is anything that you have done in your life that when you was a child you never imagined that you could have done.
Oh, okay. I got your point. So sorry for not understanding you. Your question is okay. I was just trying to figure out the answer. And I would say that I was raised and born in Queimados, right? And some of my friends are still there. Some of my people are still there. And this is something that really changed my mind because I've never thought about traveling so many times. And as I told you, as I answered one of the questions, it's all about determination. So determination is the answer for everything. So at that moment, when I was a child, I could say it would be impossible to be traveling so many times. But when I faced determination in my life, I said, okay, this is not going to work, and this needs to happen. So that about traveling is the answer for you.
I'm hungry, so I can only think about questions about food.
Okay.
What-
That's something that I really love to do. So that's fine for me.
What kind of Brazilian food did you miss a lot there?
I would say rice and beans.
I thought this.
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
my God, today I want to eat arroz e feijão.
I know how it is. But just for your information, when you are in the States, it is very easy to find a place to serve this kind of food. So this is something that you don't miss because we have many Brazilian restaurants around. So especially in Boston, because they have a very big, they have a big community, Brazilian community. And for this reason, they have like a bunch of restaurants, they have supermarket, they have everything you need. So when we have the idea of being in another country and thinking about missing any food, this isn't a problem at all because you're gonna find food everywhere. And I would say that Boston is I'm very familiar with this idea because Boston is a very international city. So as it is an international city, you can find food from everywhere. Like you have Greek restaurants, you have Spanish, you have Brazilians, you have Italians. So you have like food for everybody.
Good evening. I'm sorry I missed at the beginning of the interview because I was teaching, but I did hear that you have been faced with many challenges throughout your life, even when you were at such a young age. And you mentioned that impossible is not in your dictionary. So my question is, what is next now? What are you thinking? What are your plans? What are you going to do?
Right. So I am in Brazil working for the States. So this is this is my situation right now. So I worked for 1 year in the States and I came back to do a home office job. So this is something very good for me because it brings me a comfortable moment of my life, you know? So some people keep asking me, when are you gonna come back to the States? When are you gonna go back to the States, right? And I do say that this is not a big problem right now. So I keep thinking of going and living in the States again. But I do agree that this is one of the best moments in my life that I've been living here.
Hi. Can you list how many states have you been in the United States?
You mean states, right?
Yeah, states.
So I hope I won't forget some, but let's try, right? So I have Massachusetts, of course, right? So I went to, not the state, the city, Chicago, too. I would say the cities, right? Because it's going to be easier for you. So I would say Boston, Chicago, New Hampshire, Maine, that's a state, so it's amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
New York, New York, New Jersey, the whole California, like Sacramento, Santa Monica, San Diego, San Francisco, and Las Vegas for sure. And in this case, it would be Nevada, right? And Philadelphia too. Oh my God, so many places.
And which one you like the most?
I have a list of preferences, and my favorite cities, I would say cities, right? And my favorite
Yeah.
city is Chicago.
I see.
Guys, you have to have in your list of places to visit Chicago. Chicago is amazing. The second one is Boston, of course, and the third one is New York.
I see. Thank you.
So guys, I guess you've enjoyed a lot your time here interacting with this special friend of mine, and I'm sure he will be available for us other times, won't you?
Yeah, sure, my pleasure.
Great. Because we usually have this little time, and it's on purpose, so you can go back to your activities, and we won't make people tired home, so they can watch everything. You see, you can tune in and see all the talk show, because the talk show won't last long. Before we end, Ray, I don't have words to thank you for coming here and for all the things you've done for me, because before we come here and do the talk show, there are some preparations, and I talked to him many times. So thanks a million. It was a satisfaction in all aspects for all the connection we have. And you guys, thank you very much. It's amazing to see you coming each talk show, more people in the audience, and the old faces and new faces, and all asking questions. Enjoy this opportunity. And you guys from home, we are saying our goodbye in our 6th talk show, straight from CCAA Nova Iguaçu Shopping Center. I hope to see you again next time. We will let you know through the internet. Thank you very much. This is Connie speaking from Shopping Nova Iguaçu.